Hey guys, Sarah Pledger here. I am the writer of your meal plan. And I've been getting a lot of questions about why the greens powder, why the Mio Vitamin. So I'm just going to answer those as quick as I can. I tend to be a little long-winded. So, anyways, the brand that I use are Garden of Life, Superfoods Alkalizing and Detoxifying, and then Garden of Life Superfoods Energizing. So I use it in place of a multivitamin. So if you're on a multivitamin, I would recommend that you switch to greens just because it is a lot more bioavailable. It's all from real plant sources and roots with all of these extra antioxidants and all these things that are just really going to make you healthier overall. Um, if you are on a stock multivitamin, chances are some of the components were made in a lab. They weren't taken from a whole real food. So nature has all of these vitamins and minerals in the correct ratios and the form that we absorb them best. So I'm just going to give y'all a quick example. So if you are mega dosing on zinc, for example, you are going to get a copper deficiency. So reason is it uses the same transporters and it has a higher affinity for zinc. So we run into a lot of these problems with absorbing our nutrients, especially if there's a mega dose of one particular vitamin. It can cause a deficiency in another vitamin just because our transporters, a lot of them are specific to, say, minerals or metals or proteins, and they have a higher affinity for one particular vitamin. And so if there's a lot of that one, it's just going to keep cycling in that zinc, and it's going to let the copper pass all the way through, and we need all of these wonderful things. So when we do get these from plant sources and from whole food sources, it's already in the right ratios. It already has the transporters attached to them, so we can absorb it efficiently. I mean, nature does a pretty good job. Most of the time, when we try to do better, we end up just figuring out that we didn't know what we needed. So, anyways, back on track. So the Mio Vitamin mix is really just to help make the greens palatable. So this stuff, it is great for you. It is super absorbable. It's going to make you feel like $1,000,000. But I don't know if you can see in there, it is literally crushed and pulverized plants, roots, algae, and it is not the tastiest thing in the planet. So if you really want to make it taste good, what I'm going to suggest is you take it and you put it in a smoothie. You take it and you add something sweet. So it could just be a Crystal Light mix, or the reason I picked Mio Vitamin is it doesn't have sucralose or any of those artificial sweeteners. So the only artificial sweetener, if you want to be 100% pure, you're going to want to use stevia. So Mio Vitamin uses stevia instead of sucralose or aspartame or saccharin. So yeah, it's the only one that doesn't have an insulin response. So we're trying to keep your insulin low so that you guys can burn your fat. As soon as you spike your insulin, your body switches from burning your fat to burning your glucose and carbohydrates. And if you do make that switch, your blood sugar is going to start going lower and lower and lower, and as soon as it gets below about 70 or so, you get really hungry. Sometimes people get a little cranky, and so what we want to do with this meal plan, and the reason I've structured it the way that I have, is to keep your insulin and your blood sugar very stable, because I want you primarily burning fat. Which one of the biggest benefits of burning fat, not only you're going to reveal all those muscles that you're working really hard with your trainers to make, but you are also going to keep a very even energy level throughout the day. You won't have that dip in the middle of the day, and you're going to feel less cranky. So a lot of times your emotions and your hormones are very sensitive to these changes in blood sugar. So it's going to keep that level. Anyways, so that is why I used Mio Vitamin. It's because it does not spike your insulin like the other artificial sweeteners. So it's technically an herb. So think of stevia like a cinnamon or a nutmeg rather than like a sugar. So in any event, I promised to be short and it wasn't. It was a little long-winded. But if you guys have more questions, just post them in the comments and I'll check back and keep answering them. Thanks.